And we're recording. So just wanting to say welcome to the Dream Crew who are here live and any Dream Crew who watch later. It's Lori P. I'm so happy that you're all here. Happy New Year to everyone. 2020 is going to be an amazing year. I kind of wanted to just take a real quick minute to kind of go through. We have a lot of offers going on right now, and we have a lot of opportunities for people. So I know coming out of the holidays, it's hard to sometimes be kind of on top of everything. So I wanted to go ahead and just highlight sort of what's going on, what events do we have coming up. Remember that our new CE calls are every Monday at 5 Pacific. That's typically it's a live in the Facebook community. So please be sure to invite your new CEs to that. Jump on it yourself, you guys, if you're available. You're always going to learn something. So I just really recommend, if you're able to get on there, please do that. I am trying to remember how to mute everybody here. You're all doing great. Excuse me, except for me. So I'm just going to mute you manually. So now everybody's muted. Okay, new CE call every Monday at 5 o'clock Pacific. Every Tuesday at 10:30 a.m. Pacific, our favorite, Mari, goes live in our community, does Q&A, gives us some wine education. So mark that down again. If you're not available to be there, it's always recorded. It's a live, so it's always available. But really be sharing that with new people that are joining your team so that they know. It's such an incredible resource. So I can't really recommend it highly enough. Once a month, and it happens to be this coming Wednesday, we do Wine Wednesday with Mari. That's at 4 o'clock Pacific. And that, if I'm not mistaken, is a Zoom. I know we changed the platform for it. So I believe it's a Zoom, but we'll definitely be talking about it. So just keep your eyes peeled for that. Again, you guys, it's just a little bit of wine education. We're not sommeliers, as you know. Some of us actually are. I'm not. But every little bit of wine education that you can get, that you can then drop at a tasting, just really elevates your tasting to another level. So take every advantage that you can. Every other... I wrote it down as the 21st, which I believe is a Tuesday. It's every other. We do Gather to Grow. So again, this is all available in the calendar in your resources section. But there were just things that I really, I know that I kind of got out of whack through the holidays, and a lot of people do. It's really nice. These are really good resources for everyone. So kind of keep your eyes open for that. Opportunities for cause entrepreneurs right now, you guys. Got a lot going on. Who's going to Mexico? I'm unmuting all y'all right now. I see a couple of hands. Yes, please shout it out. You guys are all going to Mexico, right? Yes,
I'm going.
You know I want to see you on the beach. So that's a really big opportunity going on right now. Everybody can earn Mexico. It's actually like astounding how many people are going to earn Mexico, and it's really cool for anybody who joins right now, because they have, as you guys know, an even bigger opportunity to earn Mexico. They're earning double PCV between now and the end of, oh my gosh, if they join in January, February, March, until the end of April. And plus you're going to get double points for them joining, etc. So everybody, they just announced it's at the Rio Palace in Playa. Go into the resources. You guys know that I was sick over the holidays, and you can hear my voice is freaking out. You can go in again into resources on your One Hope Wine dashboard and get your tracker. There's a calculator there, so you can put in all your numbers. It's going to do all the calculating, so you can really be on top. You guys know that's like my biggest tip. Always have it in front of you. There's my Mexico glitter happiness. Always have it in front of you. Thanks. Yeah, Bootsy is putting in the chat that those resources are amazing, and they are. I always tell the story that I taped from like 17 years ago when I was getting ready to earn a trip or trying to earn a trip. I taped the tracker to the cover of my laptop. I saw it 100 times a day, and I would mark those little boxes off like every single time. But it was so cool for me. It was super motivating. It kept it really in the front of my mind. The other great opportunity that CEs have right now is our host kit promotion. We're carrying that through. This is, I think, the third month. For every $500 tasting you had in December, you got a free host kit for January, and I believe that we're going to roll that on through. So, you know, be really aware. You guys want to do tastings, and you know, qualified tasting is about 2.5 cases. So you want to be doing those. You're going to get your kits coming in for you. And those are to book new tastings. Needless to say, don't drink them. I mean, nobody's counting, but I'm just saying that's what they're for. Opportunities for customers and hosts right now are those free host kits. Hey, you know, how'd you like to host a wine tasting? I'll bring the wine, you bring the people, right? So use that for that. We have PC perks that are going on right now. So any preferred customer that joined prior to January 1st, they all got a $15 coupon. It's widely reported that people are not seeing those coupons. Maybe they're going to spam or whatever. You can go into your One Hope Wine dashboard, go into your customers, and you can sort your customers by preferred customer. Give them a text, send them a note. Hey, did you know that you have a $15 coupon in your email right now? A lot of times people just get inundated with email and they just shut down. So, or it may go to spam. So take advantage, you guys. It'll take you what? Maybe it would take you 20 minutes to text, you know, 20 people. That could be 20 orders coming through. So make sure you're doing that. Our January join offer is, of course, the starter kit prices have been adjusted. So the business builder is $99. The starter kit is $149. The starter kit plus is $199. And everybody that buys a starter kit or a starter kit plus is going to get a coupon. That their kits come with wine, but they're also going to get a coupon for another 6 bottles, so they can host their own tasting or host a tasting with someone new. Again, this is all meant to help them develop their business. So let's see, that's another 6 bottles. Websites are now being decoupled. One of my least favorite words in the world. It really bugs me, but that's our terminology, is being decoupled. So now folks can go back to deciding, do I want to pay for the website for a year, or do I want to pay it monthly? Monthly, it's $12. Yearly, it's $99. So they're definitely saving some money if they pay for it for a year, but it's making it a little bit easier for people to come in with that starter kit fee. The other thing I wanted to tell you, anybody who did the PC to CE sign on in December is also going to get that coupon for those 6 bottles. So I feel like that's getting you pretty caught up. Oh, one more thing for the customers. When a preferred customer subscribes to wine, so they've decided, yeah, you know what, I want it once a month, every 2, 3, or 4 months, that's going to waive their $20 preferred customer fee. So we've spent several months explaining to folks why $20 was good, and then we spent several months giving it to them for free. We're going to go back and charge them now. It is a good program for them. It's a great program for us. But now when they subscribe, they're going to get it for free. So, okay, I'm going to very quickly, before I introduce our very special guest, somehow I'm going to go in here and try to remember how to unmute you all. But I don't want to really take the time to do that. So I'm going to do it manually. If you have a question that you would like an answer to, please let me know. You can speak up here. I'm turning off all of your mutes. You can do that here, or you can put it in the chat box. I did see that Kaz just joined us. I did want to mention when I was talking about our Mexico opportunity that Kaz Alot has earned her trip to Mexico already. Woohoo! Kaz! Yes, girl! Good job. And a lot of you are very close behind. So keep on trucking. Let's all get to Mexico. It's going to be gorgeous. Any questions? Checking the chat box. Bootsy says she reached out to her PCs yesterday. Yeah, for sure. Reach out. Reached out to every single PC today, Erin. Wow, you are a rock star, girl. One that hasn't found the coupon, so you should obviously let support know so that we can get that taken care of. Okay. Sorry, I muted myself. Nobody else has questions. I'm not seeing anything in the chat box. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce our special guest. I'm going to unmute you, Patrice. Our special guest tonight is Patrice Matteson. Patrice and I met, gosh darn, almost 4 years ago. Actually, it's been about 4 years ago. We're working in the same circles. She lives here in Colorado. Are you in Denver? Or what town are you in? You're in Denver?
Littleton.
Oh, in Littleton. Okay. So yeah, so we got to meet, we had lunch together. We had a really great meeting and we've just stayed in touch the whole time. And she's been so generous in offering to come in and talk to my team. She's got tons of experience, not just on the field side with direct selling and multi-level marketing. She's also been on the corporate side of things. So she's got a really cool view of everything. She's a business coach. She's an author. She's a keynote speaker and sales trainer. I'm reading her bio because I really wanted to give her props. It's a big deal that she's here. She has shared her unique blend of sound fundamentals, processes, and humor, very funny woman, with live audiences and on radio and television. She's been with Arbonne, Weekenders Clothing, Zinzino Health and Wellness, and Mary Kay. So she's got a really rich history, you guys. I'm going to stop talking because I'm going to have to stop talking. Patrice, I really want to thank you for coming on tonight. It's Sunday night. You're such a rock star for sharing with us. And I'm actually going to let you introduce your program and what you're sharing, and then we'll kind of wrap it up at the end.
Great.
Thanks, Patrice.
Well, hello, everybody. I just wanted to start with the question, just what energizes you? As Lori said, my name is Patrice Matteson, and I'm a certified Strength Scope practitioner. And what that means is I have been coaching, well, I was in the field for 21 years. I was in the field with 2 different companies, one company for 18 years and then another one, and found some systems and processes that were really moving my team ahead. And I eventually moved to where I coach and speak and help other people be successful. Along that journey, I came across Strength Scope. And a few years ago, probably about 4 years ago, I became certified. And what Strength Scope is, and I'll explain a little bit more, is I help people really find out what is unique about them, what makes them unique, and how to use those strengths that they have to be a great leaders, conflict resolution, team. I will be talking with your team more about team acceleration, how to accelerate your teams. It's a very exciting view of positive psychology. Years ago when I was in college, we always studied abnormal psychology, what was wrong with everybody. And now the psychology is moving into positive psychology to find out really what makes a great leader, what makes people excited, what makes people great leaders. And so I'm just going to give you a little piece of that tonight, and then I'll be talking more with your team to kind of develop that more. So I called this one just Upgrade Your Energy, just a little mini workshop for tonight. So I want to ask you, when were you at your best? Think back of a situation and just think, you were just at your best. You were just like on all cylinders. You might have been in what they call flow. You were excited. Just think of that situation and think of 3 words that describe how you felt then. I mean, imagine a world where we spent most of our time doing what we did best every day. Like, how wonderful would that be? And you're in such a great company, a great situation to do that. So I don't know if you want to read through on the chat line some of the words that are coming through, but do you want to just read those out as they're coming in?
Yeah, guys, so just type it in the chat box for me. I wrote mine down, but I'm going to write mine down. I felt when I'm in my flow and I'm feeling it and I'm just, it's all good. I feel very light. I feel fun. I just feel faster.
Okay.
Kim Smith is saying energized, confident, positive, proud. I love those words. Anybody else have something that they want to share in the chat box?
Great words. Great words.
Yeah. You want to start with those?
Yeah.
Okay.
The interesting thing is, when was the last time anybody ever asked you that? When someone asked me that 4 years ago, I had really never been asked that. And I just kind of took myself to that situation. And when I do that in a live group of people, you can just feel the energy of the room. I mean, everybody kind of gets to that point in that part, and you can just feel that. And sometimes you can even just see people's confidence, and they sit up, and it just really brings you back to that. So if those come in, we can kind of interject those as we go. Really? Is there some more coming in?
Yeah, there's a lot more coming in.
Good.
Let's see. I love these. Confident, unstoppable, powerful, energized, organized, accomplished, inspired, focused, comfortable, happy, motivated. Yeah, great words, you guys.
Oh, well, very exciting. So kind of keep those in mind, because I would love to have you feeling that most of your time. I know we do have to cope with some things that I call drainers, but for the most part, I want to see if we can help you spend the majority of your life and your time and your business feeling that energy and experiencing those words. Really interesting study I wanted to share with you. This is from a book called Soar with Your Strengths. And years ago, Nebraska launched a major 3-year study, and they wanted to determine the most effective techniques for teaching speed reading. So they took more than 1,000 students, and they were tested for speed and comprehension. And the results were dramatic. Well, of course, the best teachers got the best results, but what they found is the readers who were reading at 90 words a minute after doing these techniques, they improved to 150 words a minute.
Wow.
What do you think happened with the good readers that were at 350 words a minute? You can just type that in, anybody. What do you think happened to the readers who started at 350 words a minute?
Nothing yet.
Okay.
Or you can just unmute yourselves and share.
Well, I'll just share what happens. Most people that I share this with in my workshop say, well, they lost. They lost words per minute. They stepped back. But in reality, what happened is the top readers who were at 350 multiplied to more than 2,900 words a minute. Yes. What this started them thinking is, usually we would work on the things we don't do well. But what we should be focusing on is our strengths, what we're doing well, because that's where you're going to get that exponential growth. That's when you're going to get, you're just going to have that synergy. That's what kind of started the turn into the positive psychology. And of course, again, we're going to have some 90s in our lives. We're going to have those things that don't come natural to us, that we aren't energized by. But even, I remember when I came home from school, if I had all A's and a B, my folks tended to say, what can we do to help that B, to bring that up? But what they're saying is we need to find what we do well and really build on that. Now, when I talk about strengths, I have a little different definition of strengths. Oops, and I just got something in my eye that happens. So what a strength is what empowers you, what powers you, what energizes you, what makes you feel strong. And it's different because whoops, I skipped one here. What we usually think of is our area of competence. We usually think of our abilities, our skills, and our talents. If somebody asked you what you do well, you might say, well, you might think of a skill that you do. I'm really good at numbers, or I'm really good maybe playing a sport, or a talent, playing the piano. But what we're kind of looking at is that not orange, but the kind of maroon color there, the areas that energize you. That's what we're looking at. When those two overlap, that's when you get flow. And there's I could do a whole workshop on flow. A lot of books are coming out now with that concept. When you just get in that, you get into flow and time flies by. You might forget to eat, might forget to go to the bathroom. You're just so engrossed. And that's when those two areas meet. As parents, you want to look at when you can find skills and talents, and when you can overlay that with things that energize them. I was just on a cruise, and they had some musicians from the Lincoln Center, and they were young musicians, and they were in flow in the performance. You could just see it because they had the talent for the violin or the piano or the bass, whatever they were playing, but that energized them, and then it came together. You see it in sports, you see it in acting, when those things happen. I'm going to go back to this one. It's almost a little bit like that our life is like a mobile phone, in the sense that we have different apps in our life, and some things take more energy than others, and some things drain us. And once you can find out what energizes you and build on that, and you can find out, I also have some techniques too to share with you. What do you do with the things that drain you? Because sometimes there are just things that drain you, but there are certain techniques that you can do to reduce those drainers. The other exciting thing is that we are all so unique, that because of all us having these unique strengths, it just makes a team great. We're going to be talking more about a team later with your team, but they also did research on leaders, and it was really interesting when they researched, I think, tens of thousands of leaders to find out which strengths do all of them have. And what they found is there wasn't really a common strength. What made them leaders is they understood their strengths. And that's what made a true leader. So we are just amazingly unique. There's actually a scientific assessment that I do for people, and to find out your top, what we call significant strengths. And all the research that has been done looking at that, the probability of sharing the same top 3 strengths in any order is 1 in 12,000. To share the top 7 in any order is 1 in 346,000. To have the top 7 strengths that someone else does exactly in the same order from these scientific research studies is 1 in 1.7 billion. And the same order of any top 10 is 1 in 7 trillion. I mean, you are unique. You are unique. And then in sales, I always keep in my head too that my team, was unique. And the people that you're sharing with, you're selling, they are unique, and they have individual strengths. The people you're wanting to recruit, to bring into your team, and being aware of all those things that energize people. For instance, I know that I was recruiting 2 different people, and one was Darla and one was Penny. And I remember I was recruiting them within just a few days of each other. And Darla was a CPA. And what energized her when I was recruiting her were the numbers. Her strengths were numbers, efficiency, detail orientation. And so when I presented the opportunity, I really focused in on the compensation plan and how to promote and all the details. And I could just see Darla leaning in, and it just was energizing her. And she became one of my top managers. Well, a couple days later, I was talking with Penny. Well, Penny was a people person. Relationship, enthusiasm were all of her energies. And I could tell that she wanted to know, about the meetings, about the trips, about the all of that energy from enthusiastic and people. She was just a very people person. And so I kind of skimmed over a little bit on all the details with her. And it was so funny because I'll never forget that night she called me. She joined and she called me that night. She said, my husband wants to know how much money you put on my credit card. So she was energized by the people. She was very relational. Most of all of her strengths were relational versus execution. So this is all very interesting, not only for us, but as leaders, resolving conflicts, communication, powerful conversations. It's all just very, very exciting. It's exciting for me. You can tell it energizes me. So those strengths are really personal qualities that energize, they contribute to your growth. You can develop authentic leadership, and it leads you to peak and sustain performance. One person said had written down, it said, when the going's good, they help you excel. In challenging times or when under pressure, they boost your confidence, resilience, and resourcefulness, and they help you to be more authentic. So once you discover those, it just opens up a whole new world. Also, you know what? Let me go back and just say, does anybody have any questions that they want? They can unmute to ask, or they can chat in the chat if that's better for them.
One of the things that while people are thinking, one of the notes that I had taken while you were talking was, and I was going to come back and talk about this is, and I've not heard this presentation, so I don't know what to expect. We're talking about, the notes that I took are play to your strengths, identify your strengths, and then I sort of took a little sub note saying, how do you know what your strengths are? And then my next note was, I think, and you'll correct me if I'm wrong, all those words that we use to describe when we're in our flow and how that feels, to me, those are my indicators. Those are my indicators of what my strengths are. So I would say, I actually took a screenshot of all of those words because they were so great. And then I'll share them with you guys later. But like I said, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like that's sort of where you would look. You would look at, man, when do I just feel super juiced up and really, really excited? Those are your strengths. That's where your strengths are.
Great. Yes. There's several ways you can do it. We do sometimes have people do energy journals. So when you're getting that flow or that boost, you write down what you're doing. Also on the flip side is if you're very drained, just to stop and say, what were you doing? You can do, and I can share this with you too, is I can do online. It takes about 20 minutes. We can do actually scientific assessment where you get a printout of your strengths, your top 7. This one actually looks at 24 different ones, and then it focuses in on your top, what we call significant 7. It breaks it down into relational, execution, thinking, emotional. You can do that. At your team meeting, I'm going to do what I call a self-sort. So I have some cards that we actually can use because a lot of times you can identify them yourself. And also online, I have a teachable course that I can share too that we've made the very first module free, and people can go into the module and do an assessment there for free. Of course, the scientific one's going to be a little bit more on target, but at least these other ones will help you to see those and kind of where they fold in. Great
question. I do have a question here. Lisa Carchachi says, I would love to be able to identify my strengths. I think I know what they are, but would love to see that resource. Sorry. She also asked, is it possible to feel confident and juiced up about something that you feel is a strength, but others don't see it that way?
It's really interesting. Even in some of the scientific assessments, there's one that other people say what they think your strengths are. So it actually, there's one that you can send out to coworkers, family, friends, and ask them. But you could do that too. I mean, you actually could just ask some other people and just say, you know, when do you see me at my best? You know, what do you see as some of my strengths? And just ask people. And again, I think we call it a 360 because it's good to find coworkers and friends and family and maybe team members, maybe upline, downlines, and really look at a 360 where a lot of different people see you. But that's a great way too. But people will see that in you, and you will, now that you start to think about it and it becomes kind of a language for you and things you think about, you're going to stop and realize that. Now, the interesting thing is too, is sometimes you can be good at something, but it doesn't energize you. Okay. I am very good in details. I run my own business. I'm very detail. I can do all that, but it drains me. So you can be good in something, but it still is draining to you. So what you want to look for is things that you're good at and energize you. One of mine is creativity. You know, I'm good designing, and I'm good. I used to do a lot of crafts, and I was good at those things. And it also just really, it still does, just energizes me. I just love that. So that's what you're looking at, is things that, again, there could be things you're good at, but you'll notice that they drain you. Great question.
Very good.
Any other?
And people are asking for the resource, and I think that we will make that available. Patrice and I are going to be working together for a while with you guys, so I know that she will make available everything that she's mentioning, and I'll make sure that you guys have access to it.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Perfect. Yeah. I just kind of want to wrap with the fact that energy is contagious. And I think in sales and in our business, that's so important. It's important for you to tap in. What about One Hope energizes you? What about what you do energizes you? What excites you about that? And really use that, because other people will see that in you. They're going to want to be a part of that. That's what's so exciting. So I'm just going to ask you, what are 2 specific ways you can do more of what energizes you in the next couple weeks that would impact your One Hope business? So this might pop into your mind, but it might just be something that you might just want to sleep on tonight. You know, it's okay. When I was in sales and I knew that creativity energized me, that it would kind of be my reward sometimes if I did something that drained me that had to be done, that I could take time and work on my display. You know, I used those energizers as my rewards. I found too sometimes, I first found phone calling to be difficult, but then what happened was I found some ways that a process for me to follow. And by doing that, people opened up to me more. And one of my other, my strengths is a relationship building. So I found that by asking great questions, I learned how to ask great questions. I built relationships. So think of those kinds of things. We'll be working, you know, together to help you with those. But overall, it's going to improve your life, your family, your parenting, your leadership. It's just going to seep and just ignite your life. So I'll just end with kind of what are some blinding flashes of the obvious, things that you heard that were like, oh my gosh, yes, or I also call them ahas, that you might have gotten from this time together.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and unmute you guys. If you have a barking dog, remute yourself, please. Why it's not letting me? That's so weird. Let's see. Or type in the chat box a new. Oh, this is gonna be terrible. Oh my God. Jamie says a new workout weekly commitment will energize me. Hitting it hard this week. And Jamie, what I love about that is that you didn't just keep it focused on One Hope. Right? Because we know that things that we do in all areas of our lives influence and affect all areas of our lives. So that workout is going to make you feel better, which is going to make maybe things you're doing with One Hope go easier. Focus training on strength.
Hold on one second there.
Yeah.
If that is a drainer for you to be doing that, which sometimes it is to have that, I would find something in working out that energized you. Like if you, like self-improvement is one of the strengths. So if self-improvement is energizing for you, then while you're working out, then listen to a sales talk. So can you see how sometimes just making that goal, if it drains you at all, typing that, or if the thought of that drains you, find out what about that is energizing. I'm a relationship person. So for me, I would go find a friend and walk with a friend. So don't just try to, when you're plowing, I'm not saying that it is, but if anybody's thinking those things and you feel like it's going to drain you and you have to power through it, find that strength that's going to build that and make that exciting for you to do.
I love that. I love that. I see here focusing on what, and this to me, I love this, and this was definitely an aha for me. A couple of people said focusing on my strengths and trying to build my strengths rather than focusing on my weaknesses. Let's see. Ruth says, focusing on what energizes me to see where my strengths are. Lisa says, I loved the statement that I can be good at something, but it's not my jam. It doesn't energize me. She's living this right now with her current job. A very validating statement. Yeah, I think we've all experienced that, Lisa. You've got something really fun in your hands that, I think you can kind of try to focus on that. Stacy's a brand new cause entrepreneur. We're so excited to welcome you, Stacy. She says she's excited to see where it goes. Bootsy says, now that life is starting to calm down, I want to work on setting a schedule for myself to keep things on track. Erin says, working out by myself. Erin's a teacher. She's got kids at home. She's an aspiring leader she is a leader in our company, and she's pushing herself really hard, as is Bootsy. Working out by myself brings her strength. She needs that alone time to re-energize. I totally get that. Yoga, Jeanette, joining a networking group, because I'm inspired by community. So really good things in here. I love that everybody's sharing this stuff. I've got one more. Kaz says, mind blown. I can be good at things that totally drain me. There are things that energize me that are nothing to do with my business, and I can give myself permission to take time to do them. Kaz, that's 100%. Kaz and I both work One Hope full time, and so I think it's pretty easy to get just, that's all we're doing. It's all we're thinking. I think about it from the time I wake up until I go to bed, and I forget to take care of myself and go out and do something. Hey, Heidi. Heidi just joined a yoga studio last week to help her physically, but it's also forcing her into a new world that she's not super comfortable in, so that she can meet new people. I love that, Heidi. Yeah, good stuff, you guys. Really good stuff. Yeah. So, Patrice, do you have any more to wrap up with, or you feel like?
I could wrap up for.
Yeah.
I've done this seminar for 2.5, and in 3 hours, I've done it 2 hours a day for 5 days at a conference.
Gosh.
So I can, it's very exciting, because I've also done this with youth too. So it's exciting, just having people discover what makes us unique.
Yeah.
And that we are unique. And again, I love sales. I love what you all do. Building, putting together the sales with helping others and helping organizations, and just what you do. And all of these strengths, there is a way that you can use those in what you're doing right now, and that you can feel energized, and you can help others to be energized and feel unique. I'm just going to end with this quote that I loved, and it was by Steve Jobs. And he said, your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Have the courage to follow your heart and your intuition. So I just wanted to share that with you. And I am so excited to see you all again, to work with all of you and to help you just be the best and to have that energized life and love life.
I love it. Thank you so much, Patrice. I just took note of that as well. Just following your intuition and honoring yourself. I think that's so huge, and it's only going to make everything that we do better. So thank you so much tonight. You heard Patrice mention she will be at our DreamCRU Colorado meeting, which is coming up on the 20. I wrote it down. I don't. You know what it is. It's the fourth Tuesday of the month. So it is on the
28th.
What is it?
28th.
28th. Thank you. Sorry. I don't have my calendar in front of me. On the 28th, Patrice will be joining us. She'll be going into this a little bit deeper. She's going to share some of her materials with me, which of course I'll post in our group. Thank you all so much for taking time tonight on a Sunday night to come with us. I hope you got some value out of this. Again, be sure to check the resources, check the calendar for all the opportunities that you have to share with your team, your hosts, your customers, etc. So thanks, you guys.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Patrice. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.